Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Unveiled Word. Today, I'm going to be smoking an AVO Ritmo South America. These things are really good. This is the Super Robusto size, so I'm very excited for that one. The smoke should be a nice full-bodied flavor. It's got a mixed filler, and it's got a good binder and a really good wrapper to it. I'm really excited about these. AVO tends to be a little more on the expensive side. So whenever you can't get a chance to get these, they tend to be a really good smoke. Just be sure to know that as far as being an expensive cigar, typically the sticks will be anywhere from 18 to 28 bucks. Flavor's really good, consistency is good, however. Okay, so really excited to get into these. I bought a box off of Famous Smoke Shop. They're pretty good. They tend to get deals on AVOs. JR does sometimes too on AVOs, but typically Famous does more. With that being said, maybe you've seen my other cigar videos. Be sure to check those ones out too. Give you some pointers from a seasoned smoker as myself on how to have a more good experience out of smoking, whether that's what you're wearing, how you feel comfortable, and you're not so restricted with what you're wearing. There's windows open for better ventilation so you're not choking on all that smoke. And of course, you got your beverage. I got myself a Zevia. It's a nice soda, something sweet. And be sure to get yourself something like that too, whether that's a coffee, iced, hot, nice tea, you name it, okay? With that being said, let's get into this. I'm gonna be using my Calibre SV cutter. So, nice satisfying click there, I love it. It's got a nice straight cut right there and a wedge V cut right there. So it's very nice, I like that. Calibre is good stuff. I like the triangular designs to it. It looks pretty hip and cool. So when you're making that cut, be sure not to rip off too much of that cap. Otherwise, it's going to ruin the wrapper and ruin the cigar experience of smoking altogether, okay? And I like this SV cutter from Calibre because it has a compartment. I'll show you right here in a second. So it's got that cover right here. So it's able to, let me show you right here. So once you make your cut, it doesn't, all of the cigar, the filler that you just cut into, it doesn't drop onto your lap. So it's pretty handy if you're in a car and you don't have time to empty this out safely. So you could keep it in the compartment, and when you get back home, you could just open up the compartment very easily and then dump it into the trash. So these are really good for that. The lighter of choice today is going to be my nice Cigar Quad Jet lighter. I like this one. It's really good for big ring cigars. And as you can tell, this AVO here is a super, I think it's a super Robusto, so it's like a Gordo size. And it is square pressed, if you look, slightly square pressed. So that should help us have a nice, easy draw and a nice concentrated flavor. I did make a V cut, so I'll show you for reference right there. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So keep it away from an inch or more with the flame. So when you're lighting it, keep your cigar horizontally, inch or more away from the cigar. Just toast it. Bring it to your mouth, puff it a little bit, and then once it's in your mouth, then you can make sure that it's an all sides are covered with an even burn line, okay? twist the cigar if need be. Now, finish off that burn line now. You'll get immediately a very strong scent of the tobacco in there. You can tell that these were fermented for a long time. Immediately off the get-go, I get mature tobacco flavor. I don't get any of that. Typically, if tobacco isn't matured properly, and it's very young tobacco, then you'll get like a fresh grass, like a hay flavor to it. And that should be a dead giveaway to you that it's not ready to smoke. Let it stay in the humidor for a couple more weeks, maybe a month. And that's why it's important when you go into the cigar shop, you inspect each stick before you buy it. And typically, some cigar shops, if they know what they're doing, they're going to humidify it at a good temp, and they're going to buy cigars and let them age for a bit before they sell it or before they send it to cigar retailers. So me and my dad were big fans of, really big fans of square press and slightly square press cigars because the draw is just so easy. And look at that, folks. It's just beautiful design. It's just a gorgeous piece of art altogether. If I look closely at the wrapper, I see just this dark, luscious wrapper. There's very small protruding veins, but other than that, this is such a seamless cigar. Dark, oily, Maduro. That is Maduro. It's not Oscuro. Oscuro is the blackest shade of tobacco there is. This is Maduro. Maduro's dark, and it's typically associated with old world Cuban color. And this is special. This is a special AVO because typically they'll do mild to medium cigars, but you know me, Chad. I like full-bodied cigars. And this is the AVO Synchro South America blend. So it's gonna have, it's not a puro of any sort. A puro means specifically derived from. So if I were to say this is a Cuban puro cigar, that means it's exclusively Cuban. The wrapper, the binder, and the filler are all from Cuba. But typically, the word puro comes into play when we're talking about like a Nicaraguan puro, a Peruvian puro cigar, or a Honduran puro cigar. You know, that just means that it all comes from the place of origin. That being said, there's plenty of good cigars that come from mixed filler, mixed binder, or different wrapper from a different country. all sorts of good cigars come from puros or mixed cigars altogether. That being said, this is a long filler on the inside. What that means is it's long filler. It's not chopped up scraps from cigar makers, and typically that's derived of like a machine-made cigar, which is that's not premium cigars right there. This, however, is long filler premium cigars. That's the difference between machine-made. Machine-made will just have scraps, mixed short filler. That whenever Torcedor is a cigar roller, whenever they're making their cigars with their chaveta, I think that's what it's called. It's an oval-shaped knife that they use to cut the tobacco, cut the vein out, so that gives the wrapper a nice, veinless, seamless, gorgeous design to it. They'll cut off some of the scraps, throw it out, or they'll send it to get sold for mixed short filler. I like the flavor. It's this very dark. If you like dark chocolate, like 70%, 85%, I love that stuff. It helps keep that sugary milk chocolate out of your system. Typically dark chocolate's healthier for you. I like that. If you don't like dark chocolate, then don't try this cigar. I do like this a lot though. And quite frankly, there is a sweetness to it. A nice cherry, slightly nutmeg sweetness to it. And it has a nice dry bouquet to it, almost like red wine almost. Smoking pretty good. I do have two windows open at the moment. It's a little windy. So the burn line isn't as even as I want it to be. That being said though, the flavor is phenomenal. The draw is very easy. Immediately off the get-go, it's a full flavored cigar. And I like that. Some cigars will have a medium. Right off the get-go, you start to smoke the cigar and it's a medium flavor to it. And then once you get to the shorter end of the cigar, then it will transform into this full-bodied flavored experience. But immediately with this one, I'm getting a strong scent and aroma in the room. And I'm getting a nice, I'm not getting just a one flavor full-bodied experience out of this. I'm getting slight hints of black pepper, and then a baking spice almost, and then it'll transition into a nice slight cherry undertone to it. And I bought a box of these off a famous smoke shop, so I was able to try a lot of these, and they are consistent as far as the flavor. With the burn line's a little difficult to maintain with these. And there is a pleasurable experience of looking at the cigar label. I do like teal, I like green, I like evergreen. So I'm a little biased towards cigars with green and teal colored labels to them. I do like that. And it's quite hard for this flavor to be mimicked. This is a very rich cigar. I do like this a lot. It's really good. If you are a rookie in the cigar smoking world, I would recommend you don't start with full-bodied cigars. I would recommend you start with a smaller size cigar as well, like a Corona size, or like if you want to try the full flavor of a cigar and just experience it all together, I'd recommend either a Corona, which is smaller, or which would be like a 30, 45 minute cigar smoke, or an hour-long smoke like a Robusto. A Robusto is 550 typically. A Corona is like 5 inches long by 42 ring gauge. And with that flavor on that Corona for you beginners, I'd recommend a mild to medium to start it out, just to see if this is actually what you like. And if you want a very memorable flavor, I'd recommend like a Maduro or a darker flavored cigar, because typically the darker the cigar wrapper and the blend, the sugary the cigar is going to be, because it's fermented the longest. It's a very matured cigar. There's all sorts of different flavors going on with Connecticut shade, like lighter wrappers. They typically don't have a lot of depth to them. It's just creamy, vanilla, and with a slight nutty bouquet to it. So if that's what you like, hey, go for it, okay? All of us different cigar smokers like our own thing. And that's the most enjoyable part of it, because you can listen to other folks talk about cigars, but altogether, it's your decision and your choice to decide what you like and what you want to spend your money on. Yeah, I would recommend, if you are a seasoned smoker and you know what you like and you know what you want, to go get yourself some of these, because you're missing out on a lot of depth and richness of what AVO has to offer. Typically AVO makes Dominican cigars, but I do like their Syncro line. All their other Syncro, they have AVO Syncro Fogado, they have the Nicaraguan Syncro, and then I think they have a South Caribbean one, Syncro. That's like a medium strength cigar though. I think this is one of the best AVOs that I have tried. That's not true. I have tried an AVO Heritage, and those ones are amazing. This is a close second to the AVO Heritage, in my opinion. All the other mild AVOs I have not tried, nor do I have a desire to, because I like my full-bodied cigars. So I smoked my first inch, and I'm seeing a very white ash with slight gray on this side. I've had to relight the cigar a little bit because of an uneven burn line, but it hasn't canoed. So there's no doubt that this ash is depicting a very good tobacco quality about this cigar stick. I'm going to keep smoking this down, and I'll fast forward to when I hit the middle section of the cigar, and I'll update you on that flavor, I'll update you on that burn line, and if the cigar has stayed consistent or if the profile has been evolving into a different type of flavor, okay? With that being said, I'll do my best to enjoy this and be completely unbiased with my opinion on this gorgeous AVO here, okay? So stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm back. Fast forward a bit, and now we're at the middle spot. And what can I honestly say about this AVO other than this is a powerhouse of flavor, it's a powerhouse of depth, and there's no creaminess to it whatsoever. There's no vanilla. It's a baking spice. It is a deep, earthy richness, and this is a delectable stick of tobacco, okay? Very strong. I wouldn't recommend this for any of you rookies out there. Your palate is not yet developed. However, if you're willing to take a risk, be my guest, okay? Because these are pretty good. I do like Star Wars, though. I like watching that a lot. I've read some of the comics. I used to watch Clone Wars as a kid. I did like those a lot. But as far as, let's say, as far as comparing this to one of the best movies in Star Wars, I'd say this reminds me of Return of the Jedi. I like that film because it starts off great, and then in the middle portion of the film, you actually think they're going to lose. And then towards the end, you think that they're going to lose again after thinking that they're going to win because, you know, the conclusion of each Star Wars film has to end on a good note, right? But it ends up better than I expected. And I guarantee you're going to start this cigar with similar expectations. You'll think it's going to be a great cigar, but if you take me for my word and you try it for yourself, it will blow your expectations out of the water as far as being a powerhouse of strength and flavor. That middle portion is really good, and I can definitely tell it's evolving. Honestly, my favorite part of Return of the Jedi, Star Wars, I'd say I do like just the whole scene where they're on Andor, the moon, where they're trying to deactivate the shield. I thought that was a pretty cool aspect to it. They show you some of the I think Captain Rex is one of the old guys. They don't disclose that in the film though, but I think George Lucas meant for that to be a kind of hidden secret. Captain Rex from Clone Wars is in there. He's one of the old guys in the camo suits. I thought that was pretty cool. And I know typically all the Star Wars fans out there say that Empire Strikes Back or A New Hope is their favorite, but I disagree. Return of the Jedi is just better. Having difficulty just maintaining an even burn line. I don't know if that's I'm not puffing it enough or I'm puffing it a little too much. Sometimes with the cigar, you have to know when to put it down, let it rest for a bit, not let it get too hot. Otherwise, it's going to canoe. It has not canoed, but like I said, just the burn line being a little uneven. And I don't think it's affecting the flavor at all because I'm still able to enjoy this experience. I'm not ashing all over myself. I'm being careful in that aspect. But that being said, you know, I smoke a lot. I do. I know what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm not the best. I'm not an elite pro. However, you know, I've smoked a lot of cigars, both mild, medium, and full. My word isn't the end-all be-all. Sometimes I may be biased in this thing or that thing. I'm very biased in full-bodied cigars. I think they're the best, and I'm unwilling to try out mild or medium cigars unless they're highly recommended. I do like that color and the nice sheen to it. So I'm gonna keep smoking this. I'll update you guys furthermore on the flavor once I bring down the cigar to 3 inches. The sweet spot is what we call it, okay? So stay tuned furthermore and I'll update you. Guess where we're at, guys? That's it. We're at the sweet spot. We're coming to where the stogie is at its shortest length, but at the strongest pinnacle of that flavor, okay? This is where the powerhouse is at its peak. And the flavor is stronger, it's better. A perfect symphony between the depth and richness of the flavor and just the earthy strength of this cigar. This was altogether an enjoyable cigar. The only con to this one was uneven burn line throughout. It wasn't canoeing bad. So if you have the patience and the time and you smoke it carefully, you don't puff too much or too little, and you don't let it go out, you won't have much difficulty with that. I've had 2 windows open. It's a little windy right now. Maybe that has something to do with it. That's why I brought in a hoodie to wear. It's a little cold in here. It's an enjoyable experience altogether too. I'm wearing a comfort hoodie. Feels nice and comfy and cozy. And it has a slight weightiness to it, so it makes me feel calm, relaxed, altogether enhancing my smoking experience today. I would rate this a strong, I'd rate the AVO Synchro South America Ritmo I'd rate it a 9 in flavor and depth, and I'd rate it a 5 altogether just for the uneven burn line. These have been in my humidor for months. They've been maturing pretty good. Usually with darker blend cigars, you want to mature them a little bit. You know, it's not going to hurt. And what are you guys waiting for? Go get yourself some AVO Synchro Ritmos, okay? They have altogether different brands too that I'm sure you'd find enjoyable too, okay? So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your continued support. Like, subscribe, share, do what you will. And in the famous words of Senator Palpatine and Darth Sidious, do it. Thank you.